Hello again. Today I thought that I will speak a little bit about being quiet. See, I have been taking a Maun Vratha every week, every bi-weekly, sometimes tri-weekly, a Maun Vratha. I don't keep it for any thing in particular. Like, I don't have a prayer in mind or anything. And though I pray for the world and things like that all the time, but nothing exclusively. I do it predominantly to be quiet, to not contribute to noise. That noise, that's constantly everywhere all the time, that stops you from listening to that inner voice. No wonders the sadhus used to go to the forests to meditate. It's very difficult to sometimes be quiet in the city, especially. But I'm off from here in a few days, so I'm very happy about that. I'm going to continue doing this Maun Vrat though. Anyway, the need for Maun Vrat. So it helps you be quiet, firstly. It helps you be very, very quiet. And when you become very, very quiet, you will hear everything. Everything that's going on, you will hear everything. And it also helps it makes you communicate with people in more subtler forms, because you're not using language, you're not using any auditory stimuli to capture someone's attention. So, you can use auditory stimuli. I think you can bang your foot or something on the floor, or I have a stick, so I use that sometimes to get people's attention. But yes, you have to communicate with people using nothing but subtler actions of the body. If you don't want to play dumb charades and dramatically act out everything all the time, then you have to learn to adapt, and you have to learn to communicate in subtler body languages. Have you ever heard of the Maharabian concept? I think that's what it is. I'm a little rusty because I've been out of training for a little while. But I think it says that predominantly, I think 70% of all communication is done through the body language. And the rest is how you say it, as in the intonation, inflection. And I think 3%, a very small percentage, is actually the words that you're using. The words matter very, very little. Spellings are just spells that you cast upon yourselves and others. Spellings and words are nothing. Pure intent is a display of body movements and the intonation and inflection of the voice. I have worked in this field predominantly for most of my life, checking people, assessing people on how they speak, the manner in which they speak, how many words per minute they're using, how many, what are the inflection points, what is the subject over, sorry, not the subject over agreement, what is their syllable stress on, how they're pronouncing certain words. You can tell a lot about a person from that. You could tell a lot about where a person is from. You could tell a lot about, what kind of family they're from. You could tell about the person's educational background. You could tell about the person's likes and dislikes. You could tell how trainable the person would be. You could tell how receptive a person would be to feedback. You could tell pretty much everything about a person purely from the manner in which they are speaking, right? Where they are stressing, which words they're stressing on. They can convey their deepest, darkest secrets. They could let it roll out of their tongue without even using a word. So, language is a very powerful tool, all right? And the manner in which you say it, and especially if you're physically present, then your body language, that's pretty much all it is. And your body language is predominantly mudras. A very juvenile understanding of mudras is modern day body language, and I have worked as that as well. I've worked as a soft skills trainer, so I've trained people on body language and things like that, which is all just very extravagant mudras. That's what they are. Pure body language is is subtle mudras that the consciousness, let's say, reflects through the 3D model or the avatar or the the three-dimensional figure that we are. The consciousness reflects through this in certain permutations and combinations, and that is reflected at times through mudras, through the mudras that we make with our hands. And you could use this as a science and understand that certain mudras activate certain parts of consciousness, conscious experience, and certain mudras activate other parts of conscious experience. So mudras are a long science in itself. Yeah, there's a lot of topics and a lot of different things, but the need to be quiet. So you communicate with people on subtler body language. You communicate with people subtly, and you get your point across subtly, and it's very nice. It also helps you restrain yourself. It helps clear your Vishuddha, your venom, the venom that you have in your throat, the venom that you spew on other people. It helps you control that. It helps you clear that. It helps you clear your tongue. It helps you ease into the communicative channel of the mind. Pure mind speaking through the mouth and no hindrances in between, something like that, I would presume. So you can communicate with people by extension also, since you're using subtler body language. We communicate with people across distances without using any body language. Intention, then this is another science that you could get into, intention and how to influence, how to communicate with people without using any body language at all, just purely by intention. And you don't have to say anything, you just have to stand somewhere, and that's another form of body language. So that's another form of communication. So there are a lot of ways to communicate with people other than using language, is what I mean to say. If you take a Maun Vratha every now and then, it's not going to kill you. It would be nice that it would be a good therapeutic exercise for you to also clear your mind and to listen to the inner voice, which is what I want to now take you. I want to take you to the place where their inner voice is, because a lot of people have forgotten it. I take a lot of meditation classes, so I see this as a trend, as a recurrent theme, as a pattern, that people have forgotten the place where they hear the inner voice. You ask them questions like, all right, so what does your inner voice sound like? And they freak out. They're like, what, should I say something? Is there supposed to be something like an inner voice in my head? Of course. All right, that's your inner voice. And the place and the way you reach it is you hum. And you start your hum. Sorry, that didn't turn out right. Again. I guess something like that. So you start with a sound and you slowly decrease the volume till it's only in your mouth. Once it's only in your mouth, you slowly decrease the volume till the vibration is only in your throat. Then you become even more quiet and you stop the voice altogether. Where is that sentience? Where is that space where the voice is forming? Isolate that space. That space is a dimension. You can navigate this space. You don't have to behave impulsively. If someone is saying something to you, you don't have to immediately react, because this space exists where you decide the actions that you're going to take, where you decide the words that you're going to use, where you decide your next step, where you intuitively decipher knowledge, where this is the Akasha, this is where everything is, this is the Akasha, this is a realm, this is a dimension. To tap into it, become quiet, become very quiet, till the thoughts are clear. Because once you become quiet, you will hear everything, and your wish will become clear.